Good morning, traders. I am Emily Bonney, the CEO of the Investment Banking Institute and your host here at NewsWare's Trade Talk. Joining me is trading anchor Bill Olson, who brings more than 30 years of institutional trading experience to our program. At Trade Talk, we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Today is Friday, February 23rd. When NVIDIA wins, everyone wins. Fresh off NVIDIA's strong earnings yesterday, stocks enjoyed a big boost across the board. The Dow climbed to close at a record high, adding more than 450 points or 1.18%. The Nasdaq advanced nearly 3%, and the S&P 500 jumped 2.11%. Phil, let's get into Friday action with what is happening in the markets this morning.
Hi, yes, good morning. I'm watching the S&Ps. We're up 0.11%, a little over a tenth of 1%. That's positive. We've been, slightly higher all morning long, which is nice to see. I mean, there were a host of macroeconomic data points out of Europe this morning, but none of them were really impacting the markets, though. There was a lot of Fed speak yesterday after the bell. They really did speak, stick to their narrative of wanting to see more data before proceeding with any. They want to see more data on inflation before proceeding with any inflation cuts or any rate cuts, excuse me. If you look at the shares of Squared and Carvana, they're higher due to positive earnings announcements. I know tomorrow we have some ceasefire talks, regarding the Middle East situation, and that's going to be happening in Paris. Next week, we got a host of key inflationary numbers coming out. Looking over at Europe, we are seeing some gains. The DAX is up, 7 points or 0.04%. The FTSE's up 2 points. The CAC is up 45 points, so that's 0.58%, which is positive. Over in Asia last night, the Nikkei index was closed. The Japan was closed. It was a national holiday. Hong Kong fell 17 points, very muted. Shanghai, it did, jump 16 points. It did cross that 3,000 barrier, which is, positive because, it wasn't too long ago. It was trading 2,700. Now that it's at above 3,000, that's actually positive. We've had, 2 weeks of good moves in the Chinese markets. So we gotta consider this as a nice little bull phase happening over in China. Let's keep an eye on oil. We're looking at oil this morning. Oil is trading lower. It's down more than 1.5%. We're looking at WTI, $77.28 a barrel. We're talking Brent. Brent is at $82.40 a barrel. Those P stocks having an effect on oil. The Fed commented, and I wanted to see more data before lowering rates. That's having an effect on oil. So yeah, that's what I see for you in terms of a morning market update report this morning, Emily.
Bill, a few things to be watching there. You did mention Block in that opening. That was your pick of the day yesterday. So stick with us through the whole show because by the end, we're going to do full check-in on that. We're also going to get to the day's earnings action and the economic events and, of course, the other market-moving headlines. We're going to turn first to earnings action. Bill, give us a rundown there.
Hey, let's start off with Block, ticker SQ, Sam Quinton. Block missed by 14 cents, but it was done on higher revenue, and that's really the key. I mean, you look at that stock this morning, it's up 15.51%. I'll say that again, 15.51% this morning. SQ, well, wow. That higher revenue figure is really what they needed to hit. We're talking into it, ticker INTU, India Nancy Tom Uncle. They beat by 33 cents on higher revenue. Street didn't like their guidance, so you look at the stock, it's down 1.05% this morning. We're talking Hyatt, ticker H. They beat by 25 cents on higher revenue. Look at shares of Hyatt, it's down 1.87%. We're talking Warner Brothers Discovery, ticker WBD, William Boyd David. They missed by 9 cents, and that was done on lower revenue. You look at that stock this morning, and it's down 5.44%. Nothing's good. No earnings out this afternoon, but upcoming on Monday morning, we got Pilgrim's Pride. That's ticker PPC, Paul Charlie. Their EPS is 42 cents. Expected move here is 7%. We got Domino's Pizza, ticker DPZ. David Paul Zebra. Their EPS is $4.35. Expected move here is 6.18% when they release Monday morning, Emily.
And Bill, as you mentioned, when it comes to economic events, we had a lot of Fed speak out yesterday. Reports we're looking ahead to for next week. A little bit slow on that front today, but give us a look at what we should be watching when it comes to economic events.
Yeah, I mean, we got to be careful with the economic fence because the calendar really is void of any significant economic reports being released today. We do have the Baker Hughes rig count that's coming out at 1 p.m. Christopher Waller yesterday spoke after the close, saying that the recent strong U.S. Growth and jobs data suggests to him that the U.S. central bank still needs to verify that the progress is being made and its ongoing drive to cool prices. And for that reason, he sees no rush to bring rates down from where they're at now. So yeah, that's really kind of what the other ones were saying as well. There's no impetus to move these rates lower, you know, earlier than expected. So, June, July, I'm thinking July at this point is really like the most probable time we're going to see a rate cut. Um, next week, you got durable goods orders on Tuesday, GDP on Wednesday, PCE on Thursday. These are going to be the key ones. But today, it's really void of any real market moving news items, Emily.
The area where we always have plenty of market moving news items are other types of news that come out of different sectors and segments. This is information and data like merger news, guidance news, buyback news, other catalysts. Bill, you're using your Newsware to find all of this information. You also are setting up alerts to group stocks together, like your FANG stocks or your Dow 30 stocks. So, Bill, what else do you see is possibly moving the markets today?
Just doing a quick little data check. Dow stocks are mixed. Your FANG stocks are pointing a little lower this morning. We're looking at the airlines. They're weak. Autos, not doing too good. Banks are definitely weak this morning. Drug stocks are showing some gains, and of course the semiconductors. You know, Listen, Nvidia is just leading the charge higher, but the rest are not following suit. That's for sure. Retail stocks, a lot of earnings coming out next week. They are trading higher right now. We're looking at some of the news behind the headlines, like Amazon. Let's be clear. Amazon's being added to the Dow Jones Industrial Average on Monday morning. You look at Amazon this morning; it's down 0.3%. We're talking Apple, ticker APL. Apple claims Spotify wants limitless access to the App Store without paying. Google is supposedly suspending their ability to generate images of people in its flagship chatbot, following some online backlash. We're talking Tesla. China's market regulators said that Tesla is going to be fixing up the software in 8,700 vehicles due to reduce the chances of accidents. Tesla's down 0.7% in the pre-market. Talking Dow Jones 30 stocks, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, Bank of America. These guys are the lead book runners for the Reddit IPO. It's going to be a big IPO. United Healthcare, UNH, Uncle Nancy Henry, cyber attacks. Looks like they're state sponsored. It's disrupting, their pharmacies and medical data exchange network, UNH. We're talking Apple, or Disney. Apple's got a new support app, a sports app that they released on Wednesday. It's really said to be pretty good. Real-time sports update that could be rivaling Disney's ESPN app. Merger news: JB Hunt, JBHT, Walmart is selling their freighter fleet to JB Hunt in a shipping deal. Talking guidance news, Intuit, ticker INTU. They see third quarter adjusted EPS $9.31 to $9.38. Street estimates $9.69. That's a big downtick. That's why you're seeing the stock down this morning. Squared, SQ, this is Block. They see full year 2024 adjusted EPS at least $2.63. Their prior view was $2.40. So, that's positive. Ticker AAOI, Apple outside India. These guys see Q1 adjusted EPS, 33 a negative 33 cents to a negative 28 cents. Street estimate added a negative 1 cent. The stock's just getting hammered this morning. AAOI, let's hit down. It's down 36%. That's just ugly. We're talking Nice Systems, ticker NICE. They see full year 2024 EPS coming in $10.40 to $10.60. Street estimate $9.88. That's a nice uptick. Yeah, the stock should be trading higher today. one worth watching, NICE. In terms of buyback news, Select Medical, ticker SEM, they announced the stock repurchasing program of up to $1 billion. Blooming Brands, ticker BLMN, Boy, Larry, Michael, Nancy, they announced a 350 share repurchasing plan. In terms of catalyst calls, WPP, William Paul, this is an advertising company out of Europe. Citibank opened up a 90-day positive catalyst watch on the stock, WPP. And that's what I have for you in terms of news hitting the tape this morning, Emily.
This is the type of data that NewsWare delivers daily. It's factual, it's market moving, and our alerting functions bring it to your attention as it happens. Go to www.newsware.com now and sign up for the trial and see for yourself the benefits that professional Newswire delivers. We've now made it to that time of the show for the Trade Talk Pick of the Day. Bill, what is your pick to end this week?
Going ticker PEG, Paul Edward Grace. This is Public Services Enterprises. It's a utility. Earnings are out Monday morning. EPS is 53 cents. Expected move is 4.22%. Call volume is 74 calls to 55 puts. Yeah, it's positive. Open interest 8,521 calls versus 5,170 puts. Yeah, that's good. Brokers are positive on the stock. Did see some price target cuts, but they were cuts by $1. But the stock is they are overweight on the stock, so that's typically more important. In terms of an entry price here, I gotta say I want to get in $60 or under. I think that's doable. I'll be watching it all day today, but yeah, that's my pick of the day. Public Service Enterprises, ticker PEG, Paul Edward Grace, $60 or under today, Emily.
Bill, once again, little earnings play there, looking for that right entry point, putting pieces of the puzzle together, those data points, and coming up, we will see if that worked out on yesterday's pick of the day, which we may have given it away earlier in the show. It was Block Inc., but in just a moment, we're going to do a full recap on that. But first, let's take a look at the current breaking headlines that have hit the tape in our Hot Off the Press segment. Bill, take it away.
United Airlines ticker UAL to launch a nonstop flights between Guam and Tokyo Airport. WBD, Warner Brothers Discovery, expects to continue to deliver in 2024. Merck, ticker MRK, they received a positive opinion from the European regulators on a Keytruda drug study. U.S. regulators dropped some emission disclosure requirements from the draft climate rules. GM, Cruise to resume robo-taxis on city roads in coming weeks, report came out. MasterCard facing new lawsuit by a tech startup that accused the payment giant of, efforts to stop digital wallets for consumers. Salesforce releasing earnings next week, I believe on Wednesday afternoon. CRM. Dillard's department store ticker DDS. They introduced the Broke for Edge Hill collection. Blooming Brands, BLMN, Boy, Larry, Michael, Nancy. Profits down, but they beat on EPS, it looks like. That's all I'm seeing this morning, Emily.
Okay, Bill, before we dive into Friday trading and sign off for the weekend, let's do that check-in on yesterday's pick of the day. We mentioned it. It was Block Inc. During your earnings rundown, you did tell us that missed by 14 cents on higher revenue. The company reported revenue of $5.77 billion, and that was versus the $5.7 billion expected. They also posted $2.03 billion in gross profit. That was up 22% from a year ago. During your NewsWare alerts, you gave us that bump in guidance. And, the stock has been making headlines for its jump in after hours trading after that earnings report. So, Bill, how did your call work out?
Let's just look at the numbers. Stock opened up at $65.78 and hit a high of $68.33. I mean, there you go. If you're playing 1%, you got it right there. But then, the earnings came out, because they did lose money. The stock initially fell. It fell down to $63.80, but $63.50. But this stock is judged more on increasing revenue, not EPS. You have to understand that the tech firms aren't evaluated the same way as more seasoned companies. And from there, the stock just took off. I'm looking at it this morning. It's trading $78.99. That's like a 20% move in less than 24 hours. 20%. Where else are you going to find opportunities like that? I mean, 20% move. And it just worked out fabulous. Squared, big winner, very happy. It was a good day yesterday, Emily.
Bill, I was just about to say, where else are you going to find that 20% move opportunity? Delivering the wins day in and day out. We will check in with you on Monday about today's Public Service Enterprise Group pick up the day. Bill, thank you as always for your expert insight. Join us back here Monday and each weekday morning next week at NewsWare's Trade Talk when we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Again, I'm your host, Emily Bonney, here with trading anchor Bill Olson. Traders, you know what to do. Let's go out there and make some green.